MacVoices is supported by ATTO, the power behind the storage, providing network and storage connectivity for Mac users for more than 30 years. Visit atto.com to learn more. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. Folks, this is Alex, the editor of Antidote. We had dinner last night together, and now we're here to let you know what Alex does with Antidote. Alex, thanks so much for showing up this morning. I know dinner we had quite a conversation last night, but now we'll let everybody else in on the secrets.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, and it's really a great opportunity to meet people here at AltConf and to get the ball rolling.
Well, you and I are exactly the kind of thing that happens at AltConf. We didn't know each other until, about 15 minutes before we got to get grouped together and went to dinner, and by the end of the evening, we're great friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's those are the typical meetings that I actually enjoy and are worthwhile.
So tell me about Antidote.
It's more of a suite of language applications that actually allow the user to properly correct their content outside of their content creation. So we're doing it in English and in French, and we're using our own engines to detect typical grammar errors, typical stylish errors, to make sure that their content makes more sense for the end user reading it.
So this is hugely important because, for example, we all go on Amazon and you see those descriptions that have clearly been written by someone who is not fluent in your particular language. And you obviously get the gist of what they're trying to say, but it does call then the credibility of the product into question a little bit.
Exactly. I think it's all about communication, and if you're able to properly have written communication, it's easier to get either the clientele you want or the proper information across. So even for companies, for individuals, making sure that they're saying the right words in the right context, that's really the most important part.
So how does this work? If I come to you and say, I want to describe MacVoices, but I want to do it in French, it's not exactly a translation, is it? Or is it a translation and then a review, or how does it actually function?
It actually is. My purpose is to make sure that the content gets created in the content editor. So we're trying to reach out to everybody that creates content, whether they do it on their browser, they're using Pages, they're using Outlook, Word, whatever, and we actually funnel the information back into our own software, and we're able to use simultaneously both softwares at the same time. So we do the correction, and then we send it back to the content creation. And by respecting the style, by respecting the work already being done in the creation of the content, we're able then to make sure that we focus on our own things and they focus on the content of the creation of the content.
Okay, so when you say the content creation, are you referring to me as the creator, or are you putting, let's say, something live on a website that's passing through your software?
For instance, you're writing a blog, right? So you're in a microblogger site and you're creating content in text fields. Well, you're then writing everything you want, and then at one point you're calling an extension, if you're in a browser, to actually get the information onto Antidote, and Antidote then corrects it and automatically syncs it back to your browser. So before pressing submit, your blog will be properly corrected, and therefore you move forward. But our purpose is really to be a parallel integration, in the sense that we let the content creator, you, do whatever you want in whatever environment you want, and we let the edition, the editor that you're using, the microblogger sites or Chrome or Word pages, do their job. So therefore, we really focus on our strength and they focus on theirs.
Okay, forgive me for getting into the weeds here, but I'm kind of intrigued by this. So I'm going to take a Microsoft Word document, and I have a Microsoft Word document that I have composed in English, but I want it in French. Okay, so by using your software, it doesn't push French back to me automatically, because then I don't know whether it's right or not. Mm-hmm. Does it come as a separate file or a separate copy, or how does that function?
Well, we don't necessarily offer translation services. So what we do is really take the text as it is, and we detect whether it's English or French, and then use our engine on it. So therefore, we're correcting the English version of it. So if you want to correct it in French, then translate it in French in a different software, and then we're going to correct that as well.
Okay, now that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So you could even translate my English, if my English is not so great, and make it great.
Well, it's actually a good tool for translators, as in they're able to switch between both languages within Antidote. So they would see that, for instance, the word translation in French would be traduction, but in a different context, would translation mean the same thing? So we would offer a bunch of contextual information and options. So then the ability to switch between both languages and making sure that your decision is the right one at the time you submitted your text.
Okay. Forgive me. It's slowly becoming evident of now I'm understanding what you're talking about. So we're not talking about translation. We're talking about grammatical, just making it sound like it was written by someone who knew French other than me.
Exactly. Well, I don't want to say it, but it's easier since it's out in the public space. But we're a similar interpretation to Grammarly. But the main difference is that we we work as a desktop version as well as a web version, but mainly as a desktop version. And therefore, we integrate with everything, not only browsers. So, and by doing such, we also validate the whole sentence, which is a little bit different than Grammarly because they only correct the grammar. So we correct anything. So we can actually see that there are repetitions in your text. You're using the word editor a little too much in your text. So we're offering you suggestions as to synonyms. We're offering you, in this context, this word should be better. And adapting is, and giving even stylish comments on it. So you're getting, this sentence is too long, and it could not be understandable by such and such people. You could just rephrase it in such a way that it will be understandable for your end users.
Is it fair to ask about pricing, or is it on more of a case-by-case basis?
Well, pricing is pretty similar. We're currently only having the perpetual licenses. So our development cycles are about 3 years. So we're giving $70 or around those times for one module. I think it's $99 for one module in English, and then adapting it to different contexts as well. So, and it's the same whether you're an individual, whether you're we do have special pricing for companies. For instance, we're based in Quebec, Canada. So we are in different companies that have like 50,000 licenses. So we do have special pricing for that, and we adapt to whatever they want to make sure.
And the website is?
Antidote.info.
Okay. And how did I do with the pronunciation?
Not bad.
Okay.
Actually very good.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Alex, thanks so much. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Folks, more from WWDC and AltConf in San Jose. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.